are live. Yes. We are live. अगर तुम लोग लाइव उस पर मोबाइल पे देख रहे हो तो आवाज कम करो.
अच्छा खुद को देख रहे क्या?
हाँ ये क्या? This is what we are live. अगर तुम लोग अरे sorry my देख रहे हो तो आवाज
वो रिकॉर्डेड आ जाता है क्या?
क्या?
ये क्या है?
क्या है?
इसमें ऐसा चला गया ये.
We are live already.
Okay, now we have to.
बस मैं लिंक शेयर कर रहा हूँ. 2 people are watching. 1 person. तो मैं ही हूँ.
Petsy.
ग्रुप पे लिंक डाल दिया है. As soon as people come in. We are waiting
Why
for
the screen is in past tense?
because ये live है. Isha went up नहीं इधर.
Isha, don't be angry.
अच्छा ये अभी इंस्टा पे यहाँ पे लिंक कैसे डालेंगे?
Bio?
बायो पे डालेंगे. So we are live, guys. 3 people watching already. Maybe one of them is me, but हाँ. Did it can? We are just share the link बस इसके बाद मतलब कर सकते हो. Just posting it up. And I'm tagging you guys. ईशा तेरा ये क्या है? ID?
क्या?
Instagram पे नहीं.
अच्छा शेयर.
ID. क्या ID?
नहीं ठीक है. Instagram से निकल गई क्या तू? वापस?
हाँ.
Okay. Tagging this one. So 6 people are watching already. Yeah, so we can start it as people start getting in. Or we are waiting for like 10 people maybe. As soon as that happens, we'll start. Yes, just repost the stories. And the people who are watching, please hit the like if possible, so that आगे push हो जाए YouTube पे. And if there are any questions, we will be taking them as they come, and you can just comment here. Video we are watching. Let's start.
Start. Hello guys, welcome to Minded Hands, and on the occasion of Mental Health Day, we have all gathered here for a discussion on the theme that is mental health in an unequal world. To start off, we just want to talk about the unequal part of the theme. So you guys can go ahead. Okay. So I am Hannah Fernandez, and these are my friends, Utkarsh,
Hi.
Akash, Seno,
Hi.
Senorita, Betsy Fernandez, and Isha Sheikh.
Hi.
So we are all from the mental health field, and we are here to discuss certain points related to it. So our main focus is going to be on the theme that is mental health in an unequal world. So let's start off by talking about the term unequal.
You guys can put it in that in English.
Yeah, English chalega. So, unequal. What do you guys think about the word unequal?
Somebody can take it.
Okay, so by unequal, I feel like we have, as we have seen that due to the pandemic, it has been noted that a lot of people are suffering, and those who are suffering are from the poverty line. So like those are who cannot afford mental health facilities are suffering more, is what I think.
Okay.
For me, basically, the term unequal would be like getting unequal opportunities over certain situations and being a part of something that where you are not treated equally among different people that you work with or be around with.
For me, inequality is where the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer.
Exactly. Correct.
I guess inequality is not just about poverty. I mean, obviously in India, हमारे यहाँ पे पैसों की कमी होती है, and poverty is one of the things that we think is unequal. But there is also gender inequality, which we need to address too, because that is one of the things that is skipped over our minds when we talk about inequality. And so racism is always there. Not to pinpoint anything, but yeah, that is also one of the things that causes inequality. That's my view on it.
According to me, every step in mental health should start with an awareness word, because awareness is something which will let you know that you are not mentally well or you need help or anything else. And this inequality starts with the basic fundamental attribute of awareness itself, because some of the people are in the world who are not able to think about even like their basic priorities. So it's very difficult for them to be aware of a term called mental health. And I think that's what an inequality is, the opportunity to be not to be aware, according to me.
I agree with Utkarsh, because the opportunity for people to know about mental health is quite unequal. People focus more on talking about mental health to people who are educated, or you go to colleges, you go to corporates. But people who are in the poverty line or below poverty line, they are completely unaware about what is mental health, or how do we work on it. What do they'll say? Are bhoot pakda usko. What is bhoot pakda? They'll go to n number of babas, but they'll not go and seek help from a doctor, from a psychiatrist, or from a psychologist, or go to a counselor. It's not that mental health facilities are not available in the government hospitals. It is available, but the access or the awareness, rightly said by Utkarsh, is completely, I would say, very less actually.
To this, I would like to add people usually like I had this conversation with a person, as we are from this field of psychology, we are studying. And so people are so curious and they ask us questions like, what do you study? And why is this? Like, what do you exactly do? So whenever like I have this kind of question, people usually note this thing that, oh, this for mental health is only for the high five people now. It's not for us. Matlab, only these people go like give importance to their mental health. So that's a very interesting fact. Like people think that only those who are of high class or higher high five people, according to them, as they quote it, needs to go like, or they prefer to go to such places like to take therapy and stuff.
Another misconception is mental health, yes, counselor के पास जाना है या going and consulting a psychologist or a counselor means क्या हो गया, क्या problem है, वो ठीक है क्या, कुछ like no, they always think कि mental health मतलब कुछ तो बुराई है या कुछ तो हो गया, they कुछ पागल हो गया. That is what they think. They don't think that's not necessary. There has to be a problem to deal with mental health. You have your own personal reasons. Everyone goes through anxieties. Everyone goes through a lot of things in their daily life. That is also dealing with mental health issues. It does not mean that, oh, you need to have a specific disorder or you need to go through a trauma to go and talk to a counselor. So that is also one glitch, people think कि नहीं, मतलब ये counselor के पास जा रहा है तो जरूर कुछ ना कुछ हो गया उसको.
Yeah. And adding to that, Hannah, I think whatever we have in our society, if someone is not feeling mentally well or anything, they have a stigma attached to that as well. There is definitely something wrong with me, and this is from a deviant from the a normal population which we have. But in fact, everyone goes through these things, and the stigma which the people have don't let them take to the step ahead they need to take in field or in a world of healthy being.
Also, I would like to add, like I have noticed in these few days or years, I would say, people usually look at therapy like as if it's a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand the process, and so like they get scared or nervous to approach a therapist or any mental health practitioner.
Also adding to this, when people have been asking me about helping them out in the mental health facilities, and the first question that people ask is it expensive? Is it affordable for me? So this stigma is like, it is an impact on people where they feel that no, mental health thing is for the rich because it is expensive for the poor to go for it or to have facilities towards it.
I agree with what Betsy said. They think it's expensive, but also, there are places where there are reasonable, prices. Whereas when we have any physical issues, when we are, having a heart problem, say, or we want to go to the physiotherapist or anything, and we go to the best of the doctors. Okay. मतलब एक महीना waiting करके we go to that doctor and we spend like just to meet that doctor without even having a proper conversation with that doctor. $1,000 minimum if you're going to a specialist. $1,000 बिना सोचे वो doctor के पास सिर्फ जाके बोलना है कि इतना this is, he'll just write the medicine and give you. That time they don't feel it expensive. But when it comes to going for a counseling session or going for a therapy or visiting a psychologist, बात करने के लिए इतना पैसा क्यों देना है? That
You're exactly right.
People have a lot of, they don't consider that mental health is as important as your physical health, which that again creates inequality. I would say that is also a level of inequality that is created in the field of mental health.
To this, I would like to add, I have noticed that people are willing to take therapy, there usually you will see that around our age people or younger to us, around like teenagers or 20s may people, they feel like they should take therapy, but somewhere they can't because they cannot afford it, because of course some are unemployed. And as you said that for physical illness, our parents, for example, our parents will take us to a big doctors, spend um around 1K or more than that on just a consulting doctor, okay, for just for consultation. But when things like that, things like mental health, usually kids or people of our age, they're not comfortable talking about this to their parents, because the parents feel ki kya, what is this, you're just thinking too much, get off your phone, or talk to us. Why do you have to go to someone, like share with us? That person is a stranger, will he be able to help you? He is going to give you a solution only, so like I'll give you a solution. And it's just not that mental awareness is not there among older people. There is less awareness in our generation also. They feel, as Senorita said, they think that they give us solutions to our problem, which is not true. So I have noticed this, that few of our friends, like outside our field, when I tell them ki there is some problem or something and I think I should take therapy, they say that what's the problem, share with us, why do you have to go for therapy? Friends are there, but friendship also has a limitation. They cannot, yeah, and therapy is a lot different than what friends can do. So the awareness, like how Utkarsh said, it begins with awareness. People are not aware, and people don't take this so seriously as they take their physical health. They are not aware that due to these mental health, we can also face physical discomfort. Like everything begins from our mind or from our brain.
I completely agree with Isha, because you pick up any kind of normal disease that people face in our daily life, that is BP, sugar, diabetes, any kind of physical pain, say headache. For this headache comes from like excess of stress towards the day while you're working. Towards the end of the day, like I've worked too much, my head is pain. Yeah. Too much of stress, BP shoots up, sugar shoots up. So everything, the source of all illness starts with your mind and your peace of mind. If it's not there, and it's going to affect you physically as well. And this is what we fail to build a bridge between, because people think कि दवाई ले लेंगे ना ठीक हो जाएगा.
It's that I feel we should have access to good and quality therapy also. Quality of the therapy is also important, because if someone is ready to go consult a therapist, okay, they're planning to take therapy, and if the thing goes wrong, it will push the person behind, okay, they'll think it's not helpful and they'll go around and tell that therapy is not useful. So I feel quality of therapy is also important, which will help in the awareness.
Yeah.
Like if they receive quality therapy, then they might go and talk about it, that it's actually good and you should also try. But also about the financial thing, like therapy is expensive. It is expensive because it is a service. We cannot say that I'll be giving you a free therapy or something like that, because it's also our profession. So we need something, right? It's though we have a good motive and all, everyone has a good motive and everyone has the right to earn. So we cannot say that we'll will not take money, or we'll not take any charges from them for counseling or such. But yes, we can only the government should do something about this. I feel there should be free access to at least people who are like feeling too low, depression or something, suicidal case. I feel that there should be helplines, more helplines which are actually helpful to them, like how it is in foreign countries, if I'm talking about India.
Yes, the accessibility to it, the bridge towards it is somewhere we are weak, and people are unable to reach there. Also, as earlier Isha said, quality therapy. I would also want to state a point key. Not every therapist could be perfect for each client. It takes time to get adjusted and to find a therapist to whom you can connect. Like it works exactly the way we work with the doctors. We go for second opinion. If we certain doctors' medicines don't work on us, we obviously go to another doctor. But what happens in mental health? Nay, एक से ही one bad experience, people shut it and start bad mouthing it. ये सब कुछ नहीं है, पैसे कमाने के चोच ले रहे. Okay, so people don't give that much chances to mental health because they think it should be easily accessed and it should be as it should work miraculously like medicines. एक पैरासिटामोल ले लिया, फीवर जाना चाहिए. एक सेशन लिया मतलब मेरा स्ट्रेस एंजाइटी सब निकल जाना चाहिए, which is not the same way that works with therapy and counseling sessions.
I guess the quality aspect of the therapy is also very important. As let's say a person who is not getting a good quality of therapy is will obviously tell others not to go for therapy, which will be an issue for everybody of us. And I guess people are still worried about giving money to just talk to somebody. And if that is the case, then most of us won't survive. Not just about mental health, but most of the people whose service is based on talking. Let's say somebody who is a motivational speaker in such a way, or maybe even teachers. But teachers is also what they do is they just talk, but they also impose knowledge on you, which is what we are also doing, and that is also an inequality on people that getting therapy. That's what I think.
I feel it's not only about talking, like therapy is more than talking, I feel. And people think it's only talking. So that's something, something that should be changed.
Okay, so coming to the after from inequality, we'll just come to mental health in an unequal world, where we would be focusing on gender and race as well. Okay, that also creates a huge bridge between the inequality levels. So anyone who wants to talk about it?
I feel gender identity, we can bring in gender identity here as well, because how things are coming up now, people are not really aware and they are not accepting towards it also, gender identity and stuff. So they are also facing inequality. I think that's the reason why people are also facing more mental health issues. It should be addressed. And
sometimes it's like discovering one's gender is a long-term process, and in that they might face some hesitation towards taking steps to know it more as well. So we have also we know that it's sometimes leads to depression of thoughts and all, and that can be more hazardous for the individual. I think it's really important to address these things on this platform, because inequality is also an inequality of gender as well. And like we know that we should talk about it, we should know about it, but there is still a what we say stigma, or there is not a healthy environment to talk about it because people are not open to it. And I think by being open, at least we should first listen to what the individual is saying, and that's where the part therapy starts.
There is like lack of knowledge. I feel people usually don't. I mean, you see, if you sit and talk to people about, who are not aware, and they're just shocked listening to stuff like this, like, yeah, this thing happens. It's really happening in this world. Like, all this is bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry, all this is nonsense. All this is nonsense, and you should not think about it. You should try to, you should try to sit with the nature. I mean, this is nature, this is against nature. So I think everything comes and ends on awareness.
I just
As youth, we can only do is like we can educate people, we can psycho-educate about mental health, and we can also educate about all these gender identities and races, religion, how it is important and how it can have an adverse effect on someone's mental health.
like what Isha said. I'm sorry, but like it just reminded me of a meme where the child is going and telling the mom, mom, I'm not feeling, mentally well today. मतलब कुछ तो मुझे हो रहा है. Like no, and the mom just simply looks at her. कुछ नहीं, कल सुबह से तुम जल्दी उठना चालू कर दो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. So that is what the response kids get these days. कि नहीं भाई, तुम रात को फोन पे बैठे रहते हो, तुम जल्दी उठ जाओ, अपना शेड्यूल ठीक कर दो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
People don't, it's not like it's their fault, it's how we have been conditioned and it's how we have been taught. We have not been taught about all these things. It's coming up now. We as a group of friends, we have studied psychology, and we keep on talking about stuff and we keep on reading, so we are aware about it. So we cannot just, I don't, I don't judge these people ki you all don't know anything, because they do. They have been taught like this, and it's very difficult to come out of something which you have been like wired for your entire life. So I think we can only be kind, and in a kind way we will have to explain to them that we need to think very wisely about all these stuff, and we should stop being ignorant about stuff.
That's I would want to add point to what Isha said. As they are wired and they are not aware about it, it is gradually because maybe our parents, they are aware about it, as we are the ones studying about it and we are the ones telling them about it. But people who are not from this background or who are not aware about mental illness and regarding psychoeducation and such, for them it is very difficult because their parents have continuously, maybe 50 years, 40 years of their life, they have dealt with situations by themselves. So for them it is that क्यों जाने की जरूरत है, घर पे ही कर लेंगे, कुछ मैं तुम्हें solution दे दूंगी. So it is like they have been continuously, their connections are different from what we think or what our opinions are.
That's also one point that I have faced in last few months of giving therapy is, so the students that come in for the therapy, so the parents are worried about what they are being told, and it is very difficult for them to just digest that, okay, he or she is taking therapy and we are not allowed in the therapy. So I have gotten clients where their parents come in and they ask that if they can attend the whole therapy just to know what is going on in my child's head or something like that. And not just the teenagers, this has happened with me for even a person who is about 27, 28 years of age, where their moms and dads came in and just asked to stay back, which is also a thing where parents don't really take the space into consideration, the space, and
They
that
don't
is
give the space, and there's no privacy. They don't understand the fact that the child might not be comfortable in front of them to like speak about stuff they are feeling. I think they don't understand the fact. They feel that everything should be shared with them, but all because I think there's a reason why they are not comfortable with sharing things with their parents, because parents don't take everything with open arms. It's always like if I am stressed about my studies, for example, and if I go and tell that I'm so stressed out that I'm not able to like function everyday's life. So they'll think that, oh, this is exam, you are so weak, you're mentally weak. It's a sign of weakness. They show that we are weak because we are taking therapy. So that's what pushes people away from therapy as well.
Yeah. Okay, go
What
ahead.
Isha and Akash was saying, I think confidentiality and privacy is not a word that is easy to digest in the Indian context. Most of the parents and even you can say relatives they think it's just a hyped up word and they want to know everything that's going on in an individual's life. And in today's times, everyone wants their own privacy. They want time to themselves, they want space. And I think there should be awareness around this as well.
That's true. That's and
I would want to add a point to space. Basically, in an Indian society, we stay in a house which is either small or either medium or either equal. Okay, so there is no point of space in the house because the house is small. इसके क्या space चाहिए? हमारे सामने बड़ा हुआ है, हमारे सामने बड़ी हुई है. क्यों इसको अपना space चाहिए? ये जो भी है हमारे से बता सकती है, or she can share it to us. So space, this thing, this word is very different for the Indian society to digest. At the same time, it is difficult for them to even accept the word space. कि क्यों चाहिए? क्या करोगे space लेके? And if there is an outcome with the space, उसके लिए भी अलग conflict होगा कि हाँ देखो इसे space दे दिया तो इसने ये कर दिखाया. So that is a very difficult thing for the Indian society to accept कि space बच्चे को जरूरी है for his or her development, for his or her mental as well as physical strength.
Yeah, talking about inequality, I would just bring up another point when it comes to teenagers and all students, for example, school-going children in their teenagers. A teenage goes through a lot of things. And there's this kind of a huge wall between the parents and the child to talk about what they are feeling. There is hormonal imbalance. There's a lot of things going on that they don't really understand. Now, our parents have been putting this stigma, you shouldn't talk about all this in public or with them. So again, they don't know what to do with it. That's where they go back into their own shell. They don't understand what is going on. उनको समझ में नहीं, कोई है ही नहीं बात करने के लिए सब चीजें के. I don't remember having a proper counselor in the school who talk about all these things. Luckily, these days there are counselors in school who are working on it. So if we talk about our times when in the 90s, we didn't have a counselor in a school who would talk about these things to us. It's okay to share what you are feeling, what you are going through. If you are bullied, come and talk about it. If a teacher is harassing you, come and talk about it. Bus driver, when you're traveling from school to home, is creating an issue for you. Talk about it. नहीं, ये सब चीजें हम बात ही नहीं करेंगे. अगर कुछ हो तो अगले टाइम से तुम बस में ही जाओ मत, हम तुम्हें आके छोड़ देंगे. Your freedom is taken away. So that's why even children don't want to talk about it, thinking कि हमारा freedom हमसे ले लिया जाएगा. So that's one thing, where students also don't feel like talking about these things. There's a inequality that is bridged up.
To this, I would like to add, it's not like we didn't have all these things. Like, okay, we didn't have counselors in school, but you remember we had classes like subjects like happiness and moral development stuff, and all we used to do was we used to get free lectures on them because teachers thought happiness is not a big, it's not important. Kids to feel happy every time. What's the importance of teaching them what is happiness? With happiness comes mental, topic related to mental health as well. So I think we had all these things, but no one took it seriously.
It was just
because they think these all things are useless. How will we teach a kid what is happiness? But they don't. When we go deep into it, there are a lot of stuff that would have helped them as a grown up, or as now we are in our age, like 20,
I would say
it would have helped.
Been the only subject that would have helped us go aage, but conveniently those lectures would have taken by a maths teacher or a science teacher to complete,
or a free period too.
portion complete करने के लिए.
Now going into that retrospect about the grades that we had in those subjects, we always got an A and nothing else.
And we don't remember, like, okay, it's not, even though we are from psychology, it's not like we are life gurus and we are living our life, happily and with a positive mindset, we are also going through something. I feel if teachers would have taught us about happiness, I think I would have been more happier now.
Maybe there might have been changes in our world, what we are living right now in our lives, and that would have changed a lot of things. But I guess even today those subjects are totally ignored. I mean, not totally, but yeah, mostly they are ignored because we are still in the race of those marks and percentage and just going for science, engineering, and doctorate. That's still there.
So I would just come back to Utkash's point that was in the beginning. It all starts with awareness.
Awareness.
I would say कि our teachers might not know at that time there would be something known as child psychology. वो term I don't think they were aware of. Syllabus complete करना है, value education हाँ थोड़ा बहुत सिखा देंगे. So
Also, like you were saying, okay, awareness. So I think it should also be there for emotions and feelings, because that is when a child or even an adult or an adolescent will explore it and understand what they are feeling, give importance to it, and understand why they are feeling. That is how it will all go around.
Yeah, giving importance to emotions is very important. People don't understand. I mean, whenever, like, you guys have gone through the same thing, right? They call us doctors because we are studying psychology, but we are not doctors. And then we have to explain them that we are actually studying thought, behavior, and emotion. And they'll be like, what?
ये क्या होता है?
What exactly happens in this? What?
They only doctors. Only
इसमें क्या करते हो
doctors.
तुम लोग? इसमें क्या करते हो? And people usually ask me, they give me tips how to be positive, how to stay strong, and I'm like, do I look positive and strong to you? Or do I look a guru to you? Why are you asking me such questions? I mean, I think my answer to them is feel what you're feeling and reflect to it. There's no one kind of solution to which will suit everyone. You are an individual and you have your own problems and you have your own unique solution to solve it. Maybe it will be somewhere similar, but you have to find it. I cannot tell you that, okay, go run every day in the morning and you will be like, your mind will secrete happy hormones and you'll be happy forever. I cannot tell that.
I guess we in India struggle with our own self, like the personal space that we have. That is one of the things that promotes individuality, and we struggle with individuality because people think it is a hurt thing, and the mental health is a hurt thing. So that, like, let's say, like pandemic, we have a thing called herd immunity. People mostly think about the same thing in mental health, and they generalize a lot of things. Like, even I have a few friends who ask me about how to be self-confident.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how to even answer that, because it is very difficult to know the person first, and then I don't know anything about them, and then they ask me about these things. How do I answer? That is one of the
They just want one list of things, like how a dish is made, so they need the recipe. Okay, self-confidence, give me the recipe. I want it. So, okay, we can give you the recipe, but please come talk to us. We can create a recipe according to you. Yeah.
No, but then we don't want to talk. People are like, nahi, session nahi lena. It's like going for a therapy or taking a session of counseling means, oh, I am mentally sick, I'm mentally ill. Like, acknowledging the fact that I need help is what people don't want to. Confidence में issue है बस बाकी और कुछ नहीं बस self esteem में बस थोड़ा anxiety है. How do you work on it? You just want medicine सीधा.
And don't you all feel that we have answers? Like, if we are going through some problem, we actually have this problem. Like, we actually have all those solutions, and when we talk to someone, this person in front of us says the same solution. Okay, like, for example, I feel I should be working hard, and then if I share this thing with someone, they'll be saying the same thing. To work more hard, and then it's so irritating because we know we are trying our best to work hard. Don't say the same thing. I mean, don't say Like the
Exactly like telling someone who
same
wants
thing
to
again and again. I mean, it gets irritating. Like, I feel everyone has their own solution. It's just that because of something, they are not able to go with it. So we need a lot of
just
patience
yeah. It's
to
like
come up with
if you're crying, if somebody comes and tells you that please don't cry,
yeah,
you know
that's very irritating.
cry, but it makes no sense. And
Are
it,
you crying?
yeah,
What is this question? Are you crying? Please don't cry.
these questions are just heard about and all of this.
Really telling them, ठीक है अब क्या करूँ नहीं रहूँ तो और क्या करूँ बता दे. I'll do it.
Exactly, all these things are seen as a sign of weakness. I think we should say that all these things are really important, that crying is also important, and it's okay if you're not okay.
It's completely fine.
And so even people come to us bearing a certain problem, and they think we just repeating that thought about, okay, if you are not a doctor, just treat me once, let's say treat me for this session and I should be okay for the rest of my life, which is very weird thought that I generally get. How many sessions will I need to get this problem away and never see this problem again, which is like illogical at all. Like, I mean, therapy is, so people need to understand therapy is more like a gym rather than a doctor. So when you go in the first time, you don't see the results directly. You need to have about a couple of weeks into it, then you start seeing the results, but not really. Need to continue it for a while, then and only then you will see the results in yourself. And even you need to try hard. It is not just the work of therapy or a therapist to tell you, okay, this is this, and if you don't do your homework, it makes no sense there.
Doctors also go through, they give us some tests to do, and only then they give us medicine, right? It doesn't work like how we get, and like we get a headache and we just take paracetamol and whoosh, the headache goes away. But then we should, think that it's more deeper, and emotions are very important, and there might be things that we have been bottling up and it's coming out in other ways. With people usually ask me for addiction tips also. Okay, how should I stop drinking or stop smoking? And I'm like, what? And don't smoke. If they'll go to some normal person, usually they'll tell na ki don't smoke here. Why are you smoking? Stop it. But we understand that they have got addicted to it, and now the brain is involved in this, and habits and behavior, everything is involved in this.
Okay.
They have got addicted to it, and now the brain is involved in this, and habits.
Somebody has a Steam voice.
Your YouTube streaming is on.
YouTube Steam voice, just lower it down.
Yeah. So coming back to the topic, that is mental health in a digital world. We'll talk about it globally now. So when it comes to globally, I went into certain facts while researching about this topic, and the reason why this theme was picked up for the mental health day was there's a lot of inequality between the access of mental health when it comes to lower income people or middle income people. And the studies goes on where 79% of global suicides that have taken place over the years is more into developing countries or lower income countries. So the accessibility in these countries for mental health is very less. Also, coming to the global pandemic that has taken place since 2020, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have lost their family members. Most of them could be the only earning person in the family, due to which a lot of economic crises have taken place. A lot of people losing their near and dear ones, have gone into grief trauma, and people don't have the access or don't know where to go and seek help for it. So that's why they came up with this topic to spread awareness about it, as our world globally is dealing with an inequality when it comes to mental health. Let's talk about it now. Go ahead.
Anna, as you said in the very start of how we began, that mental health, that means it is nothing you have just pakda hai ya kuch, something like that. So it is maybe unequal because people are not aware about it. People do not know where to go to seek for help. So first, it would be educating the people about it. If there is something like this, and you can get help over it. It is not truth or something. There are certain things that your person or your child, your XYZ is facing. So you can go and seek help rather than thinking or going and searching millions of babas to get that thing out of you.
I agree with what Betsy said. So what we can do is, I think, as you said, Hannah, that lower income areas, people, they are not aware about it. We'll take, you were talking globally. I think they are much more aware as compared to us, like our in India. For example, like if we talk about this to our house help or domestic help about mental health, do you think they are aware about it, or do you think they even take that seriously? And if their child is going through something like addiction or something, do you think they are aware where to go and where to seek help from? I don't think so. So all we can do is we can psycho educate at least through social media and everything, our age groups are getting all these information. It's not like we should not educate them, but I think we should focus more on areas like for example, like house help, domestic help. So the people from that part of place, we should psycho educate them.
Correct. I agree with you. Psychoeducation is very important. Coming back to the term weakness, people think seeking mental health issues or seeking help for it is only for the weak people. I have had clients and I have asked them, are your parents aware about it? That you are taking counseling sessions. And most of the times, 95% of the time, they are like, no, they think, my family thinks that taking help for mental health or taking therapy or counseling is a sign of weakness. Okay, so they are so scared to even approach or say even to take or to focus more on mental health for men. The amount of clients that I have are mostly women, because they accept I am going through something, let me take help. But when it comes to men, it takes a lot for them to go and seek help, because मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता है. We can handle it, and we have two men sitting here and they would very well relate to it. The maximum amount of clients that I and Akash get are female than men, because it takes a lot for them to accept that I need help. No, मैं जाके दोस्तों के साथ एक दो drink पी लूंगा, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. Not knowing that their feelings, their emotions are simply just going to get suppressed. Okay, and if you see anger issues, mostly men have. Okay, it's not a part of their personality. It's not कि उनको बहुत गुरूर है or something like that. They want to show their manhood. It's that simply that they have suppressed their emotions, they have suppressed their feelings, they have ignored their pain, and it just turns into anger. So it's not that they are not educated. It's not that they don't know what is mental health. A lot of people since last year, since Sushant Singh Rajput passed away, And I've been talking to a lot of people, just could be whenever I meet wherever, and they're like, oh, you're from the field of psychology, अरे तू counselor है क्या, हम भी तेरे लिए लाएंगे सुशांत सिंह राजपूत जैसे लोग. This is what people say. They take
And the fact that the controversy, it's out of the topic, but there have been controversy like he has been killed or something, and people believe it because he was so successful. Why will he commit suicide? That's the question. It's not sensible. Why will he commit suicide? He was so successful. He was rich enough. What else would he need? And I'm like, so what? Rich people go through mental illness as well. Everyone has a brain, dude. Everyone can go through problems related to it.
Coming to the recent one, Siddharth Shukla, वो तो इतना फिट था, उसको क्या हो गया? उसको हार्ट अटैक कैसे आ सकता? देख, मतलब हेल्थ ही देखते हैं, उसके बियॉन्ड क्या है? You don't know what mental issues he might have had, and कि mental health issue body को कैसे affect होता है? They don't. That bridge is not there. It can attack you if it is not taken care of. Your mental health can affect your body with a span of seconds. He didn't know that he's going to not get up in the morning. So if ignored, it can leave back a lot of dangerous damages, which तुम जिंदगी भर सोचते रहोगे कि क्या हो गया और कैसे हो गया और क्यों हो गया.
Okay, as talking about unequality or inequality, as you said, Hannah, before that, you have two men sitting right next to you. जिनको the statement मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता. As a child, if children were growing up, we've always told the girls that do not cry. But when it comes to the boy, we've told him this, that do not cry like a girl. So inequality begins at home. It begins, the roots are right in your house, from your house. So changes there are much more necessary than that is how you will begin the changes outside the world.
I guess childhood is a place where it all gets sold. And I guess that's also, so like I usually tell this to my grandparents. Okay, so when they think that they are not racist, or let's say the color of a person doesn't matter to them. But even after that, they will teach you. So there's a nursery rhyme in Marathi called, it goes as ki gori gori pan phula sarki chan dada malai koi nahi aati. So when it starts with okay, getting a person who is fair enough would be the best option you have, and they are superior, which is wrong at all. As in when my grandparents tell me this, that they are okay with a person where let's say you get married to a person who is not fair, that's okay for us. But later on again they change their whole view towards okay, like she needs to be fair and all. That is also one of the things that
that puts a lot of that also affects our mental health, I feel. Race, color, and how we look.
we are
Inequality in those things are also a reason why we go through mental illness. There is body dysmorphia. There is so many things that we can go through.
I think this is a global issue. We couldn't say it ki only India, because if you go worldwide, people are facing issues. To pick up the most developed country or to the most underdeveloped country. This is something that shows कि कितना develop हुआ एक country. Okay, जितने भी develop हो गए हो तो फिर ये किसी चीज handle नहीं कर सकते. You can't handle this racism.
And I feel I can add in this term unequal. I feel, don't you think we have been going through these things too? Like, whenever we are angry or sad or stressed out, or whenever, I'm giving my example, whenever I'm freaking out or something, they be like, you are going to treat people, first treat yourself. That is so bad. Are we not human? They just tell me. I had this conversation recently with a person, and I was like telling, dude, I'm really stressed out about my studies. How will this work? You have to take out our stress. You are getting stressed, and I'm like, what? I feel we are people who are in this field are also facing problem inequality.
Here that term comes na, तुम्हारा कुत्ता Tommy, हमारा कुत्ता कुत्ता.
It's like asking
When people tell me this na, I tell ki acha the doctor cancer specialist, what do you think? उसको chances नहीं है cancer होने की. हमको ही है, हम ही जाएंगे, उसको cancer होना ही नहीं चाहिए क्या?
asking कि अच्छा, एक डॉक्टर को अगर फीवर आ गया कैसे क्या डॉक्टर बनेगा रे तू इज लाइक द
You know, and one more thing, like how we can, bring up more awareness and cut down these inequality is by speaking about our own, what do we say? Problems. Yeah, speaking about our own battles, like how cancer survivors talk about how they have come out cancer. So that's how people with cancer feel that they are not alone, that there's chance of getting better. I feel people who have gone through mental illness should also come up and talk about their battles, so that will help. That will help, and it will show, it will tell other people who are suffering from mental illness that they are not alone in this, that they can come out of this. I feel that's also very important. Like we should always talk about our own battles, that it helps others.
Talking from the
I think that's a very important point. Like if people come out and share their battles, it might motivate other people also to seek help.
Yeah.
Talking from the point where Isha said ki even we face inequality when it comes to being psychology. Then when it comes to the professional side, I have noticed, people are like, people give more weightage to like IT people or people who are engineers and doctors and all. तुम लोग क्या है? तुम लोग तो सिर्फ बातें करते हो. उसमें कुछ ज्यादा हार्ड वर्क होता नहीं है.
हाँ.
Like people like हाँ ठीक है उसमें क्या है सिर्फ बातें करना है उसमें क्या थकान है उसमें people that time I feel like you guys don't know what we do. You all just think कि हम सिर्फ बातें करते हैं and people think it's not much of a hard work. They don't understand कि when we are talking to a person we invest our entire time into it. There are times where we are not that emotionally stable that we end up thinking about it the entire time. Okay, people don't take that into consideration. They think कि सिर्फ बातें कर रहे हो हाँ दोस्तों के साथ कैसे बातें करते हो तुम लोग वैसे ही बात करते हो ना. So that inequality when it comes to professional wise also people think कि हाँ क्या है काउंसलर का जॉब बातें ही करना है ना कुछ हार्ड वर्क नहीं है. IT वालों को देखो पूरा दिन लैपटॉप के भाग काम करते हैं. You go to see people in logistics, they are working hard. Do you see that? So this inequality when it comes to mental health, profession, mental health in our daily lives, there is inequality everywhere, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
You going to talk?
So as Hannah and the Sat said, that inequality even due to the pandemic that we are going through. So in working sectors or in places, people were working with half wages or with some amount of wages being deducted. So due to which some were in complete stress of losing their jobs, or even some were in complete stress of getting overburdened क्योंकि कोई और किसी और को निकाल रहे काम से और उसका काम भी तुम्हें सौंप रहे. So at the same time, it was unequal to people who were really good at their work, and maybe some people who had a lot of burden over themselves, like people who were the only working member in the family have lost their jobs because of pandemic crisis, and they have a lot of stress over themselves, but they had to talk to. So they landed up choosing wrong ways of getting out through it. So it was necessary for them to understand, or for them somebody to talk to them to make them understand. So people go through this, you can overcome it. there is a solution to it. You can just go and find some help, you can seek someone, but there was nobody for them at that point of time to talk to them.
I guess if we had started something at that point, we would have touched more lives than what we are doing right now. But I guess even we were in a situation where we couldn't help anything. We couldn't work on anything due to some legal reasons, obviously. And that's the thing that we could have solved. But now, okay, so eventually we started something or the other, some or the other movement where people are getting in touch with us and they are trying to solve their issues with. I mean, they know that mental health is an issue right now and they need to solve it. But still, the amount of people who have mental issues and the amount of people who are coming out of it or coming out with it, okay, that I have this issue is very low. Like maybe still 10%. It might have moved from 5% to 10%. That is still pretty low than what we see in the first world countries.
I think with people, like it's globally, I've read also that it's a fact that globally, as well as in our country, as much as people are suffering through mental illness, there are very less people in the field, like in this field, as counselors or therapists. As compared to that, I think there is very less, resources to get out of it, like mental health to help mental health. In India, I mean, people are coming, like people are getting interested in this field, and now there are a lot of people who are studying psychology as compared to before. But I think there should be more colleges and there should be more opportunity for this. People to come in our profession.
Also, as we're talking about inequality, if you all must have heard or seen, like there is this trend going on where people think that therapy is like a charity event and therapy should be given free. So my point is that we invest our time, our finance into educating ourselves. So we also need something out of it. I mean, how will we get resources for our day-to-day life? So I think that also comes under inequality, where people realize that counselors or mental health therapists also need equal amount of pay as other professions.
That's true. And so like there are a few institutions that are offering this, but people need to know that they are funded through some of the other institutions or the government, and you don't have to pay because of that. But eventually, every person needs to get paid for their services. Need to healthy.
As we are working in this field, what we can do is we cannot give charity, of course. We cannot. We have this good intention, of course. We will be giving a few therapies for some people, but also we can do this. I recently found out that we can have a sliding scale where, like as professionals, we can have a sliding scale as a counselor or therapist, that the rich, whoever is ready to pay, will be paying for the person who cannot afford it. So like we should always have a sliding scale. So with this, we can help as many people as we can.
Interesting. We can work on it.
Yeah. And I feel as a group of friends, we should actually start psychoeducating. I mean, do a lot of it, mostly to the people who are not aware, and and to put this thing into youth's mind, that you need to talk about this in your family too. Like you need to talk about your emotions too.
Yeah.
I know it won't be welcome, but yes, with time, I think it will change. We should give chance to our parents also. I think, not only our parents, our grandparents, we should also give a chance to them. We should try explaining. I mean, there is a chance that they will understand too.
So, since lockdowns,
I can't hear you.
We couldn't hear you, Hannah.
someone. Okay, yeah. So since the pandemic has Just a second. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we have learned from the pandemic, and we have learned a lot of things from the lockdown where we were locked up in our houses, and we learned a lot of things where most of the people had not experienced it before, where you know everything is unpredictable, and things can change without our knowledge. And I just want to talk about how lockdown has shaped our lives. What do you guys think? How lockdown has shaped our life in a positive way? Because people were first not comfortable spending time with themselves. They would ignore a lot of things because पूरा दिन काम करके घर पे आके खाना खा के सोना है. But now the time has changed. People are staying in the houses the entire day, working in the same place, eating in the same place, sleeping in the same house. So lifestyle has changed drastically. A lot of companies have declared lifetime work from home opportunities, and lifestyle is going to change even more drastically when in the coming times. So there are like a lot of key points where we could say कि money is not everything. That lockdown has taught us. तुम्हें पास जितना भी पैसा हो, when time comes, you will not have that. Your job can go. Anything and everything is unpredictable. You may think I have plans for the next 5 years. You don't know if the plan is going to work in the right way. So the way of looking at things for people has changed. Most of the people, not completely, but a lot of people who have realized it, I've started living in the moments when thinking कि कल किसने देखा आज जी लेते. This term was quite old, but now people are trying to think about it कि कल किसने देखा है आज जी लेते.
And also, I would like to add to Hannah's point as well. That during pandemic also, we went through different situations and we have faced some hard times as well. But what's better and what's positive now we see is we have this we have developed this trait for resiliency as well, because there was a very adverse time and then we are bouncing back to some positive vaccination going on. I think people are thinking more about mental health now, because they are feeling that they have been with themselves as well. And second thing is, I think people might have developed a trait for hardiness as well, because going through something and carrying a hardy attitude, like things might be, I need to contribute and I need to be on the top of it, and for that I need to be mentally healthy as well. These are the few understanding and few positive the lockdown might have taught us in a positive.
What lockdown taught me, I think, being more understanding to other situation also. I don't think, I mean, everyone has their own own thoughts. For some it might be money, it is important for them. For some, life would be important, for some something else. So I feel giving importance to this thing is also like everyone is going through something, and we should be understanding, and we should not judge them. Even though if for us that's a very small thing, it might be a bigger thing for them.
So for me, I guess lockdown has been, and the point that I will be taking is a slight different. It might be a negative point or a positive point together. People have been with themselves for a lot of time, and now they are understanding what they want. basically understand themselves. And that is one of the things that is getting us ahead into mental health too. And they have been focusing on their problems and also trying to solve them together, which is one a positive news and also a negative news maybe. But if we take it as a positive thing, it is really empowering for everyone. That's what I think.
As per my thing of lockdown was is that for quite some time it was that staying away from family made a different impact once we got back to our families. So it was that there was a lot of gap between the family talking and stuff, which I generally feel got worked out, sort of like things we could understand each other much better because it was after a lot of time that getting back to the family, staying within the family, because mostly it was outside working, studying, so it was a different thing. So spending time with family was very less, as we used to be tired, go back to sleep, do your work, and there was no communication sort of. So maybe that communication gap between parents, children, or siblings has lessened it down a little.
Yes, I would like to add to what Betsy said. As you all know, we were in Pune for 4 years. So yeah, when we came back and the pandemic thing started, we realized that there was a lot to catch up on, whether it was friends or family. And though like everyone was at home physically, still mentally everyone had their own journey going on. So it's like to be there for one another. It's not necessary to literally give a solution to the other person, but just make that person aware that you are there for them when they need you. Sorry. I think that is what is important. That is what I have picked out of the lockdown.
Positive.
So yeah, what we would like to tell our viewers and our audience is to log the things that we have learned during the lockdown, and it's not that it's something that had to be practiced during lockdown only. It has to be logged and it has to be practiced as our journey goes ahead in life. The main motto towards the theme that was given and which we have been speaking about is in mental health in an unequal world is to make sure that no one is left alone without help. And as we spoke a lot of things today in different aspects as to how things are unequal when it comes to mental health, I think we all have to take this challenge where we reach out to people and make sure that no one is left alone on our levels as much as we can.
And
I would like to add one more thing, that mental health cannot wait. There is no physical health without mental health.
Perfect. Amazing. Very true.
we discussed a lot of ideas today, and we'll try to come up with the solutions, and we ourselves might bring up one or two solutions, or probably all the solutions to the world. But just to give a start, we are trying to get most of the teenagers into therapy as they need it. But as you know, there is a financial issue that's going on with the teenagers. We are announcing our offer again, which is 50% off on the teenagers, or basically what we are saying is 300 rupees for a session, which is which is affordable by the for the teenagers right now. And we hope that they get a fair chance to mental health. That's why we are announcing this today, and will be offering at 300 rupees for every therapy session who is a teenager or who is still studying and not earning themselves. That's what we like to do today. And
That's a very good initiative, guys.
Thank you.
so yeah, on that note, we'll end this live right now. We'll come back soon enough to talk about these things. I guess if we get time, we can have something like this for the mental awareness program, or something maybe once in a month we'll just talk about these things and some of the topics.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining. We'll be looking forward to have such more live sessions with you guys, so that people would be able to connect, especially if not the older generation, at least the younger generation, who could listen to us and connect to the topics that we are trying to cover. So thank you so much, and I hope we were able to reach out to our viewers in spreading out what we wanted to talk about. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you guys also for thinking about us, that we could join this and we could spread our words as well outside. Thank you so much for that.
It was really good talking about some important stuff.
Yeah.
Akash and Hannah.
Very nice. Thank you for your viewers. We'll get back to you.